You're back with more Final Fantasy 15. Has been a while. I'm gonna leave him in black because he's in mourning. In the meantime, let me pull out the recap. Okie dokie. Part 7 recap. We began in the beautiful seaside city of Altissia, where the gondola drivers had a penchant for levitation. Using these hidden powers, we made our way back to the little bar tucked away in a cozy corner of town. Once there, we once again familiarized ourselves with Wescombe, who completely ignored us for a hot second, and then we finally met the leader of Accordo, Milia Claustra. Lunafreya was in her protective custody, and due to pressures from the Empire, the Secretary was willing to negotiate with Noctis to choose what course of action to take. We weren't in a good place to bargain, but appealing to her concerns paid off, and after a lengthy bout of diplomacy, she granted us permission to complete the ritual that would summon Leviathan. Lunafreya gave a rousing speech to the people of Altissia to assuage their concerns, and Noctis and Luna were finally able to see each other face to face for the first time in a dozen years. After a subtle smile and nod, they had to part ways, their respective roles taking precedence. While Lunafreya performed the covenant, boys were tasked with evacuating the citizens, and it was Noctis' job to distract the Empire. Prompto somehow managed to liberate a flying lance, and we flew in style to greet the Tide Mother. She had a temperament befitting the raging sea, and a superiority complex on top of that. Things didn't go so well, as she smacked Noctis around, destroying a huge swath of Altissia at the same time. Meanwhile, the Empire was trying their best to disrupt things, and Arden decided to pay Lunafreya a personal visit. He proved himself not just immoral, but incredibly fickle. By allowing her to keep the ring the Empire had been trying so hard to obtain, but also stabbing her in the gut. He left her to bleed out, evidently disconcerted by Luna's convictions remaining unshaken in the face of death. In spite of her mortal wound, she found the strength to awaken the kings of yore, who imbued Noctis with an unleashed armature. He promptly wiped Leviathan with 1,000 blades, before collapsing. With the last of her strength, Lunafreya healed Noctis, summoned Titan to defend against the tsunami left in Leviathan's wake, and in the most beautiful scenes of any game I've ever played, bid him farewell amid a field of blue scilla blossoms, finally handing him the ring of Lucius she had safeguarded this entire time. Days later, Noctis awoke, heartbroken and devastated, with a ring he didn't want. On top of the tragedy with Luna, Ignis had incurred an injury leaving him blind, and with nowhere left to go, the boys continued their journey towards Niflheim to reclaim the stolen crystal. On the way, we learned from the radio that Ravus was to be executed for his failed military campaign in Altissia that resulted in the death of his sister, the Oracle. Sounded like Arden did some smooth talking, if not brazen lying, to cover his tracks. Fortunately, due to the efforts of the royal retinue, there were few casualties among the people of Altissia, but the emotional damage done to the boys was palpable. Morale at an all-time low, frictions were high, especially between Noctis and Gladio. Noctis was reluctant to bear the ring, preoccupied by the dying wish Lunafreya left him, to visit Tenebrae. Gladio was impatient, demanding Noctis set aside his feelings and uphold his duties as the chosen king. Ignis suffered the effects of his newfound disability, as well as the emotional weight of becoming a burden, and Prompto was stuck in the middle of it all, feeling helpless and unable to fix anything. Regardless, the group had to keep going, discovering yet another royal tomb hiding in Fodino Caestino. We snapped a few photos we were coerced into taking, had the most depressing camp food imaginable, watched as Ignis stumbled left and right, snapped back at Gladius' snide commentary, and endured Prompto's futile attempts at levity. We obtained the power from the King of Yore, and the tension finally snapped. At a bursting point, Ignis stepped in to help the group dynamics settle back down. He acknowledged his weakness, but also reaffirmed his determination to keep up with the others. He chastised Noctis for shutting everything out, but also pointed out to Gladio that he needed time, voicing his absolute faith in Noctis. In a compromise, Gladio agreed to allow Ignis to remain, and for the grieving Noctis to stop at Tenebrae. Things weren't back to normal, but it was a step in the right direction. We were just about to hop back on the train when we had to end the stream. And then we made a promise to meet up the next weekend for more streaming, but then Mother's Day happened. I needed a drink. Sorry about that. And just double check. Got his blind man glasses on now. Alright, let's get going.
もうご乗車になりますか？
あ、頼む。
それでは中でお待ちください。まもなく発車いたします。
何かあったら言えよ。
だね。隠すのはなし。ああ、出発だ。
なしだとよ。
分かってるさ。こけんなよ。
立ち止まれねって
死なれたら困る。
直球だな。
That was the Chocobo theme that he was just humming. I just realized. End of chapter. In the dark. Ignis's resolve forces a reconciliation between Noctis and Gladiolus and restores harmony to the group. With renewed vigor, the four friends reboard the train and head for Tenebrae, home of the late Lady Lunafreya.
列車の旅もいいな。
ああ、
テートに着いたら運転はお前か？
二人に聞いてみ。
レガリアも積んでもらえてよかった。首相に感謝しないとな。
あれも安くしてくれりゃあな。
通信機は残念だった。水神の騒ぎでのことなんだが、帝国軍が撤退する中、妙な動きをする揚陸艇がいた。最初の船だ。目をやられた直後、最後に神殿の方へ向かうのが見えた。止められなくてすまない。俺も意識を失って。
生きてたんだから。いい。
足音が聞こえてきたな。
ああ、グラディオ帰ってきたぞ。何頼んでたんだ？
人探しだ。気になることがあってな。
ああ、探し当てたぞ。
すまない。
気になるってなんだよ。
夜の長さのことだ。
最近長くなってってんだろ。
ルシスでも噂は聞いていたが、ここ数日でもだいぶ変わったように思う。
ああ、
このまま変化が加速すれば近いうちに。
一日夜って？
大げさだとも言えねえな。六神も半数がやられちまった。星や世界に影響が出てしかりだ。
まあな。
夜が伸びれば死骸も増える。
そっちは実感してるしな。
ここでも誰かはその件を話していたんだ。それで
俺が探しに行かされたってわけだ。
ご苦労さん。
行くぞ、待たせてる。
ああ、分かった。行ってくる。
ああ。
Hi, baby girl.
おっと どいたノクト。すごくない？この景色。
ああ、マジでどうなってんだ。わけわかんねえな。なんだこれ。ほんとすごいよね。雪雲かな。なんかちょっと怖くない？こんなの普通想像つく？俺的にはありえないっつうか、本でも見たことない。
Okay, I'm gonna make him wait for a second because I want to check. In the wake of the trial of Leviathan, Ignis raced through the streets of Altissia in hopes of rescuing the fallen prince from certain peril. Battle with the Empire was won and Noctis was saved, but not without cost. Ignis had lost his sight. Determined to continue protecting the Crown Prince, but unsure of how, he struggles finding a way to move forward. She's transparent. Oh, it's because of the lighting on the train right now. That's weird. A shrewd politician selected to represent the Accordo Protectorate. Sally, you were so loud. A league of towns that fell under imperial control some 150 years ago. Formerly a prominent force in an anti-governmental faction, Amelia continues to push for independence from the Empire as an elected official. She holds the late King Regus in high esteem, having assisted him when he passed through Altissia 30 years ago. She is an old family friend of sorts. Moments after forging a covenant with the Hydraean, Lunafreya suffers a mortal wound at the hands of Arden. With her dying breaths, she summons the last of her strength to revive Noctis and awaken the rulers of yore slumbering in their tombs across Eos. Lunafreya then entrusts the prince with his father's ring, and with that she is swept beneath the waves. Though she no longer enjoys a physical presence in this world, she will remain forevermore in the hearts of the people. The Arden who stands at the altar of the Tide Mother is a far throw from the man of no consequence who greeted the boys at Golden Key. He is cold and ruthless, stabbing Lunafreya right before Noctis' eyes. Though he has clearly made an enemy of the Crown Prince, his motivations are, as of yet, unknown. Alright, let's see, where were we? Oh yes, an unexpected and unwelcome visitor.
ここで何してんだよ。何突然。落ち着いてよ。びっくりした。どうしたの？ちょっと。なんで？それ本気
Okay, first I want to see, how come I can jump on the train this time? Didn't jump on the train last time. So, it seems like Arden has the power to stop time. At least it looks like it. Dust particles in the air. Anything for me to steal?
What the? てめえ、ふざけんな。 あのさ、ノクト。
くそ、あいつ。
嘘だろ。顔怖いよ、ノクト。冗談だよね。もうやめようよ。
I love Arden's Japanese voice actor. He's so perfect for this role.
そういうの良くない。他の人にも迷惑だしさ。ふざけるのはもうなし。
冗談なんかじゃねえよ。
もう、本当に俺を殺す気なの？
当たり前だろ。もう逃げらんねえぞ。何が目的だ。ずっとうろうろしやがって、てめえのせいで。
どういう意味？それ、俺のせいだって本気で言ってんの？
本気に決まってんだろ。今さら言い逃れすんのか。
言い逃れって。待ってよ、本当に頼むからちょっと話を。
黙れ。
They definitely have different personalities in English versus Japanese. Like, English Prompto is obnoxious in a bad way. They made him a little too flippant. Ucielo. Deserts of the western continent have been littered with imperial armories and outposts. The slaying of the Galatian, however, gave birth to a paradoxical phenomenon, snowfields and sand dunes coexisting mere miles apart. Noctis and his friends would be wise to flee this treacherous terrain.
Noctis, 大丈夫？
今、アーデンが。
え、アーデンって？じゃあ列車が止まったのってそのせいなのかな？何が起きたか全然わかんないんだ。グラディオたちは原因を調べに機関室へ行ったよ。俺たちは後ろの状況を確認しに行こう。
Yeah, so English Ignis. I don't understand the decision that went into giving him a British accent, because he's literally the only person in the entirety of Insomnia that has a British accent. And considering he's part of one of the royal families, where did he get this accent from? It doesn't make any sense. Okay. Enough from my rant. Time to proceed with the story. I don't think there's anything I can pick up around here. And his voice actor isn't bad, it's just out of place. And plus he gave us the immortal meme. I've come up with a new recipe. I mean, that will never get old. Oh, that did startle me. And let's just not talk about Gladiolus' voice acting. There's something very subtle going on right now, and I'm wondering if you've picked it up or not. There's actually two subtle things happening right now, but I'm not going to point them out just yet. don't remember the train being this long. Certainly hope so. Oblivious is the best way to enjoy this game. Because everything is new and fresh. Oh, that startled me again. Imperial shock troopers are attempting to blow up the train. Okay. I'm just obliterating these guys. It is. I'm really overpowered, so I don't have to worry too much about the train taking damage. But I do need to pay attention so that I don't get a game over. These guys sound so creepy when they die. Ow. Okay, the assassin dudes can hurt a lot.
Ignis から電話。もうすぐ発射できるって。了解。ほら。
Didn't you say that a second ago? Wouldn't that be round 3? Ow.
Prompto, 中入ってろ。
That works. Okay, I'm glad the train regains its health. Ow. Can I please? Thank you. I'm not having very much luck here. There we go. Uh-oh.
ねえ、いつからだったと思う？
So, we just lost Prompto. End of chapter. See, I told you this chapter was very short. It's all fighting, but it is quite short. End of days. Arden uses a stitch in time to switch appearances with Prompto, and tricks Noctis into hurting his closest friend. Nevertheless, the king pushes ever onward, accepting the consequences and never looking back. Just continue to enjoy the game. I think I have Dragon Quest XI, but I haven't played it.
どうしたイグニス、列車止められねえか。プロンプトが落ちた。あーね、いや、俺が落とした。どこかわかんねえ。結構前。ノクト、落ち着け。状況は分かった。だが列車を止めるのは危険だ。また襲われかねない。他の乗客もいる。だけど、もうすぐテネブライに着く。そこで他の乗客を降ろそう。プロンプトは帝国の宰相が絡んでいるなら、奴に連れて行かれた可能性もある。そうでなくても連絡があるかもしれない。少し待ってみないか。こっちに来られるか。グラディオもいる。あ、そっちは二人とも無事か。ああ、じゃあそっちに。くそ、また来た。片付けてから行く。なんか来たし。
I like this song. Where you guys are? Did I get in both at the same time? Wow. Where are you? I don't know what it is about this particular segment, but it does make me want to pick up comrades again. There you are. That doesn't sound good. They're just hanging out on the walls and the ceiling? It's very disconcerting. Sound of danger, yeah, for sure. Leviathan deigns to make an appearance. Everything is so chaotic. But she gets the job done.
Ora neよ。これはお前らの仕業かよ。
知りたきゃ見てけば。宮殿までなら案内するよ。
じゃあ、いろいろ聞かせてもらうわ。
あんた、その目は？
ああ、ちょっと怪我をした。
見えてないの？
視力はほとんどない。
戦いでか。大変だったね。
The Ring. Before falling into eternal slumber, the six bequeathed unto man one last treasure, ring. Yet who among us was fit to possess this gift of the gods? After some time, the ring was transferred to the hands of a man blessed with powers divine, ultimately developing the mark identifying one fit to rule. And thus began the line of Lucius.
大丈夫ですか？誰かに見てもらえないかしら。
See Tenebrae burning there in the background. I think that's actually the manor itself. Tenebrae. Country controlled by House Fleuret, with the Oracle serving as its sovereign. The gardens of Finistala Manor, tended by oracles throughout the ages, are filled with bright blue scilla blossoms, the national flower of Tenebrae. Though the nation has long enjoyed friendly relations with the kingdom, their ties were effectively cut some 400 years ago when the Empire invaded and took the territory under its control. Finistala Manor alone remained the purview of House Fleuret until several years ago, when a fire broke out and claimed the life of the previous oracle. That fire, huh? Not according to the movie. Sylvia via Fleuret. Her death marked the end of Tenebrian autonomy and the beginning of a more antagonistic relationship with Lucius. Can I? Okay. I can't even pick it up. Oh, man. Orovas Rift. Blizzard-blown valley, once known as the Galatian's bedroom, and now known as her final resting place. The canyon's name is sure to send a chill down the spine of any Imperial citizen old enough to remember the horrible battle that took place here. When Shiva awakened several years ago, the Empire was quick to attack. This unprecedented assault on the Divine sent waves throughout the world, shocking folks across Eos. Although the Empire lost more than half its fleet, its sacrifice was not in vain, and the Ice Goddess fell before Imperial might. Nevertheless, the Frostbearer's icy influence on the area has not waned. The chill wind of death sweeps through the valley with no signs of stopping. Snow has even been spotted as far as the neighboring deserts of Vogliupe, suggesting Shiva's power knows no bounds. This is as fast as I can go, and I can't jump. Is there any radio in here that I can listen to? Kind of interested to know what the latest news is. Oh, here we go.
なるほど。メルダシオ教会は警戒を強めていると。今は学者の協力を得て細かく時間の変化を調べています。とはいえ通常よりも昼が伸びたという日は観測を始めて以来未だありません。夜の長さが不定だということを念頭に置いて外出には特に気をつけてください。あまり考えたくないですが昼がなくなってしまう日が来るかもしれないということですね。なるほど。エーゲル先生の調査によればかなり前から夜は長くなり始めていたんですね。
そう。でもちょっと前までは増えたところで1秒以下、普通は気づかないくらい。3時間過ぎたあたりから騒がれだしたかな。最近はもう一定で増えてるんでもなくて1日で30分以上増えてたり、昼が消える日がいつになるかはわからないかな。
メルダシオ教会。
So that was one of the subtle things that has been happening for several chapters now that you probably did not notice. But the nights are starting earlier and earlier and lasting longer and longer. Oh, I can jump out here. Okay. And when it is daytime, the sun is not very high in the sky either. Okay, it says you're having a conversation, but I can't hear you. Are you signing to each other, maybe? Okay, well. That is true. I mean, I think it's kind of a rite of passage. The first time you play this game, they say, I don't know what you're talking about, Ignis. We can go out at night. I'm sure that the monsters there are maybe 2 or 3 levels higher than we are. We can handle it if we're just patient and we can fight right. No, you run immediately into a level 30 iron giant that just wipes the floor with you. Fun times. Fun times. Of course, that was not the case here because this is NG Plus and I have God level characters. 120. Can I?
そういえばもう一人いたよね。
ああ、でもちょっと事故があってな。
死んだの？
わかんねえよ。
ならそんな顔まだ早い。 しっかりしなよ。先があんでしょ。
Yeah, I like her too. She's just a no-nonsense kind of girl. Her outfit's kind of iffy, but whatever.
帝国軍に属する市街ってとこ？
あんたも帝国軍だったよな。
昨日退役したよ。今は元傭兵部隊を連れて救援活動中。
So she did quit.
あなたがここで活動しているなら頼みたいことがあるんだが。
ん？
列車の乗客をここで降ろしたい。話を聞くにこの先は特に。
そうね。じゃあ面倒見るわ。だったら運転手も変えたら？
変えられるなら助かるが、動かせるやつがいるのか？
うん。前にも会ったことあるやつ。こっちだ。
Can I shop yet? Not that I need to buy anything. Nope, he's not here yet.
ほら、この二人、ビッグスとウェッジ、打たれ強いからね。安心していいよ。
どうも久しぶりです。で、何の話で？
列車、テイトに運転してって。
は
あ。一般人には頼めないだろ？
ま、そうっすね。
了解した。優しい心遣い。感謝するぜ。
あら、そう？
I can't jump anymore. Oh, there we go. I don't think there's anything else over here that I can yoink off the ground. It is pretty disheartening to see the men are there in the background burning. Yeah, they've been in multiple Final Fantasy games.
任せてください。正直何が起こるかわからないですけど。なあ。
ああ、渓谷は特にな。
寒いとこ通るんですよ。標準芝の亡骸がある谷なんです。まあしばらく走りますんでね。ここでしっかり準備してってください。あ、宮殿の人と話しました？この近くにいると思いますが、フルーレ家に仕えてたそうで、あなたと話したがってましたよ。
俺と？わかった。行ってみるわ。
I'm pretty sure that Biggs and Wedge were bad guys in Final Fantasy VI.
お前らはもう帝国軍じゃねえんだな。
ああ。
なんせ救援活動するには軍を抜けないと。お嬢が限界来ちゃってましたから、波に乗って。
お嬢って誰？
ああ。
Oh, you definitely should. It's one of the best.
生徒も死骸だらけでしたから。クリスタルもずっと放置しちゃってるし、軍の中だって不平不満でいっぱいでしたよ。
市民は無事なのか？
みんな家にこもってる。
ちゃんと生きてるのか、それとも戸を閉めたまま死んでるのか、ちょっと不明ですね。
But yeah, Final Fantasy VI is definitely one of the best ones.
出発するときは声かけてください。それじゃ、行っか。
おう。
まあ、こっちもいろいろあったね。将軍は処刑、皇帝は病に伏せって、宰相がその後は文字通り好き放題してる。管理する人間が死んだり消えたりで、 特にひどいのが市街研究の崩壊かな。
崩壊？
まだ命令の入っていない魔導兵も、うちで捕らえていた死骸も今や野放し。死骸が増えたでしょ。
帝国から来ていると。
そう、帝都から溢れてんの。おなじみの魔導兵もだけど、死骸たちの強さも前より増してる。とても今の帝国軍じゃ抑えられなくてね。昼が短くなってきてるせいもあって、死骸も好きに動けるみたいですさ。
で、そこらをうろついてると。
あんたたちから奪ったクリスタルも要塞内で厳重に保管しっぱなしでさ。国や町が良くなるなんて話、もう覚えてるやつもいないんじゃない？
まだもう少しここにいるんだろう。宮殿の人と話をしてきたらどうだ。ルナフレーナ様のことをお前に伝えたいという人もいるだろう。
少し話してこいよ。またしばらく来られねえぞ。
I will eventually be making highlight playlists for all of the Final Fantasies because I have all of them. I do intend to play through all of them and make a highlight playlist on my Twitch page. Just so happens that 15 is the first one. It goes up. I already played 7R last year on Twitch, but I didn't keep the VODs for that. Let's see. There is a lady from House Fleury that we need to go talk to. Let me check the dossier. Probably updated now. Let's see, Ravis. The Empire's assault on Altissia was an unequivocal failure that resulted in massive casualties. As High Commander, Ravis is forced to take responsibility for this disastrous outcome, and is I can never pronounce that word. He is scheduled for execution. While some may view his imperial turn as traitorous, none could denounce his devotion to doing everything he could to keep his beloved sister from harm. Aranea. She has long held doubts about the Empire's devotion to its demonic research. It is only when the Imperial Army's failed assault on Altissia leads to countless civilian casualties that she decides to officially cut her ties. Now she has turned against her former employer, hunting down the demons and Magitech troopers they created while saving innocents from harm. Officer in Niflheim's 3rd Army Corps 87th Airborne Division. Before he aligned himself with the Empire, he worked as a mercenary for hire with his partner Wedge. Sensing his potential, Aranea recruited him into her ranks soon after they met, and Biggs now serves as, quote, Lady A's faithful bodyguard. He completes his missions with ease, but not without questioning the Empire's ruthless methods. Officer in Niflheim's 3rd Army Corps 87th Airborne Division, the same one. Fateful encounter with Aranea brought both Wedge and his partner Biggs under her command, and they continue to serve, quote, Lady A to this day. A fellow of few words, Wedge spends much of his leisure alone, reading and fishing in silence. He is equally quiet in the field, following his orders without saying a thing. Are you talking about Lightning as the best female? I don't know. I think Terra from Final Fantasy VI is one of my favorite Final Fantasy female characters. Oh, Aranea? Well, yeah, Aranea is up there. She's... What you see is what you get with her. She doesn't play games, but she's not offensive. She still treats Noctis with respect. She doesn't belittle him or anything like that. Even when they were enemies, she was respectful to him. Only a few of the blossoms left.
Moshia, Noctis 様でいらっしゃいますか？
ああ、そうだけど。
一度お会いできるとは。こんなに大きくご立派になられて。ブルーレ家次女のマリアでございます。覚えてはいらっしゃらないかしら？
ああ、悪い。
いいえ、それよりお伝えしておきたいことがあるのです。ルナフレーナ様は紅葉の指輪をノクティス様にお返しできましたか？何よりでございます。レイブス様も報われましょう。
レイブスも。
この指輪をノクティス様へ。私の代わりにどうか。体が思うように動かないのです。
それを受け取ることはできない。お前が自分で渡すんだ。指輪を渡し、王にその自覚をさせるまでがお前の使命だ。倒れてはならない。
でももう私の力は。
果たせ、ルナフレーナ。一人の人間としてノクティスに会い、お前の思いと覚悟を伝えろ。
ノクティス様、テートへ向かわれるのですか？
ああ。
レイブス様はレギス陛下の剣をノクティス様にお渡ししたいと願っておられました。再会は難しいかもしれませんが。
受け取るよ、絶対。
ありがとうございます。
And this is where you find out that Ravis, maybe he's not as big of a jerk as we thought he was. He's still a jerk, but he's not, you know, as big of a jerk. I have not, actually.
クリスタルさん、厳重に保管してるって言ったでしょ？
ああ。
本当に誰も近寄らせてもらえなくてね。皇帝でさえお預けを食らってたんだ。研究者たちに流れてた噂だけど、クリスタルと関係あるのはむしろ死骸。最初が皇帝にあれを奪わせたのは死骸や魔導兵に都合が悪いからなんじゃないか。そんな噂が現実味を帯びてきたね。王様が守ってきたっていうクリスタル、死骸に聞いても別に不思議じゃないよ。帝国が持ってたって仕方ないからね。使える人間が持ち帰るべきでしょ。
Makes sense to me. 。 I want her back in my party. See, normally right about now at 5 a.m. the sun would be beginning to rise, but it is still nighttime. Let's see. I don't think it updated the dossier, but just in case. Okay.
Noctis 様。
お？
ノクティス様はルナ・フレーナ様と結婚するの嫌だった？ルナ・フレーナ様がすごく喜んでたよ。ドレスが届いた時もニコニコして、ノクティス様のこと大好きだったよ。
そうか。
What are you supposed to even say to that?
かつてレギスは成績に選ばれたノクティスの運命を憂いていた。その顔はテネブライに来て変化した。レギスも寂しげだったノクティスも。カンナギとしてではない、大きな力があなたにはある。
私はカンナギである以外に特別な力など持ってはいません。ただ本当は婚約のお話をとても嬉しく思いました。ノクティス様にもう一度お会いできるかもしれない。それが本当に少しの間だけでもよくて、私の中にそれを嬉しく思う気持ちがあるから。持てる力のすべてでノクティス様をお支えしようと思っているのです。
Poor Luna.
ルナ・フレーナ様、ご迷惑かもって言ってたの。そんなことないよね。
あ、ないよ。
ノクティス様がかっこいいお兄さんでよかった。
どうもな。
夜はもう明けないのか。世界はどうなってしまうんだ。
ずっと暗いままですね。
とうとう夜だけになっちまったか。
Anyone else I can eavesdrop on?
信じられないわ、こんなの。世界はこのまま終わってしまうのかしら。あのアラネアって方、帝国の人でしょ？
らしいわね。もう軍人じゃないそうだけど。レイビス様もお帰りにならなかったわね。
将軍にさせておいて処刑だなんて、
She was dying anyway because the Covenant placed an incredible physical strain on her. You know, the first time I played this game, I thought, you know, that was gonna be her undoing. Not, you know, a knife to the stomach. So I was surprised about that. I thought this lady had something to say. Something really depressing. Maybe it was somewhere else.
ルナフレーナ様の演説をラジオで拝聴しました。あの広場は本来お式を挙げるはずだった場所ですよね。一体どんな思いでいらしたか。
僕のうちが僕たちのうちどうなるのママ。
心配しないの。ママ、新しいお家探すよ。
途中で水神見えなかった。ああ、やっぱり見間違いじゃなかったのか。とんでもない旅になっちゃったよ。テートに向かうのはもうやめだ。どうやって帰る？帰れんのかな。後で車掌に話を聞いてくるよ。ここにいる帝国軍が襲ってこないな。本当に大丈夫なのかな。
なんてこと。これからどうしたらいいの？どうしてこんなにひどいこと。テートは大丈夫なの？
宮殿はかなり損傷しているのか。
だいぶひでえな。避難してる人間も疲れ切った顔してる。
あの最初は一体何をしたいんだ。
考えると大抵嫌がらせでしかねえ。邪魔ってほど邪魔もしねえ。プロンプトも多分生きてんだろうよ。ただ無事かどうかだな。
Well, of course, it's kind of an old habit, I suppose. Because in older RPG games, you got information about how to progress the game by talking to literally everybody. And plus you would get some cool things here and there. But I think it really fleshes out the world when you talk to everybody.
だいぶ兄貴も苦しい立場だったみてえだな。
しっかり話ができなかったのが悔やまれる。陛下の剣は帝国にあるのだろうか。
持ち歩いてたやつが処刑されてるからな。最初が絡んでなきゃいいが、しかしこれでフルーレ家は耐えちまったってことか。
It is the end of the line of oracles. Oh, you wanted to know what happens now that the oracle is gone? She was in charge of... I don't want to say in charge of, but her duties as oracle was to heal the people afflicted by the Star Scourge, and to also assuage people's concerns, to make them less anxious about all the things happening in the world. And she played her own part in delaying the inevitable, I suppose. But now that she's no longer around, the nights are starting to get longer way more quickly. More people are sick. And because the nights are longer, there's more demons, and the demons that are coming out are much stronger. And they continue to increase in number.
そういえばしばらくゲンティアナ様のお姿を見かけませんね。カンナギの血筋も途絶えてしまったし、こちらにいらっしゃる理由もない。もうテネブラへは誰も寄りつかない場所になるんでしょうね。
こりゃやっぱりテートは無理だな。ああ、商売どころじゃないだろう。あっちは研究所がやばいらしいし、死骸だらけってのも本当かもな。イドラ皇帝はどこで何してんのかな。生きてんのかね。将軍も死んだろ。
Not to mention she was beloved by literally everybody.
我慢して。お家は壊れちゃったんだよ。
怖いよ。ここにいたくない。
おばあちゃんがいるから大丈夫だから。大丈夫だから泣かなくていいんだよ。
Can you imagine trying to calm down a child in that situation?
レイブス様は帝国の反逆者として処刑されるそうですよ。宮殿への襲撃もその見せしめなんでしょうかね。
元気出して、きっと大丈夫よ。
俺は何のためにここに来たんだ。俺はまだ彼女に一言も。
大丈夫。彼女を信じて。
後でもう一回帝国の人に聞いてみる。
私も一緒に行ってあげるわ。
See, the sun is still rising and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Oop, I didn't want to do that.
お前、婚約者だろ。ルナフレーナ様のこと教えてやる。
ああ。
ルナフレーナ様はお花だけじゃなくてかっこいいステッカーも好きなんだぞ。嘘じゃないからな。
If you say so. Alright, anybody else?
?申し訳ございませんが、すぐには無理です。いつまでこんな場所にいさせる気だ。なぜすぐ出発できない。皆さんが乗れる準備をしてるんです。お待ちください。俺は死にたくないんだよ。お気持ちはわかります。皆さん同じですよ。
ジールの花が一面に咲いていた庭もすっかり焼けてしまいました。ルナフレーナ様が自らお世話もされて綺麗な花畑だったんですけどね。
I think that's everybody. I don't think there's anybody back here. I don't think there's anywhere for me to sleep either. What are you doing, kid? Alright, we are going to save. And we're going to proceed.
壊れた車両は別のに取り替えて出発準備してますから、出発したいときは俺たちに声をかけてもらえれば。
一休みするなら食堂車がある。
Oh. So you're saying there is some place where I can rest? Is it down here? Hmm. Okay. I already listened to the radio. But I can now order food. I think it's the same thing as before, though.
何か食べてくかい？
ささっと選んでくれ。
Yeah, that looks like the same food as before.
また来てくれよ。
Gotta admit, it is a little bit more appealing than mystery meal in a can. See if there's a place for me to spend the night down here. It looked like there was. I wish I could walk faster though. Here we go. Prompto's gone. Very sad. Well, at least Gladio got the stick up his butt dislodged enough to come and socialize with the rest of us. Alright, now we're going to proceed with the story.
そろそろ出発しますか？
なら乗ってくれ。
ここの市民とそっちの乗客は私が面倒見る。テートに入るんなら、まあ気をつけなさいよ。
ありがとう。
どうもな。じゃあ行ってくる。
雪。おい、早く乗れ。
ああ。
Gorova's Rift, a frozen ravine where the fallen Shiva lies, a solitary railroad carved through its unforgiving snowscape. With Biggs and Wedge driving, the train makes its slow and steady way towards the imperial capital.
"外は雪だ。中も冷えてきたか?"
標準の亡骸があると言っていたな。
亡骸じゃ掲示はできねえか。
無事に通り抜けられるよう祈ろう。
テートに入る覚悟もしねえとな。
Okay. Yeah. There she is. Here's her head, her hair, her shoulders, and here's her back. Here's her bum, her legs. This is her arm. There she is, her corpse.
渓谷を抜けたらテートだそうだ。
ずいぶん近くまで来たな。
Yeah. Until I knew exactly where we were stopping and what we were doing, I didn't know what that blob on the map was either. Oh, wait. The fall of the Empire? Question mark? After his forces suffered crippling casualties against the Hydraean and Altisha, High Commander Ravis Nox Fleury was sentenced to capital punishment. However, the Imperial Army has yet to appoint a successor to the late Lord Fleury. Moreover, waves of Magitech troopers, gone haywire, have fled Halleck's armory, begun assaulting the citizenry. Could this be the karmic retribution of those who turned their backs on the gods? Sounds right to me. Dabbling in things they shouldn't have. Okay. Can't go any further. There's the car. Brought it all the way from Lucius.
こうも暗くちゃうつうつとしてくるぜ。
今も夜なのか。だいぶ時間が長くなったな。
どうなってんだか。
He's a manly man. He can't show any weakness of any sort. Of course he wouldn't allow anyone to know how freezing he is.
また止まりやがったな。
すいません。
お、どうした？
今止まっちゃってます。調べてますが。
俺たちが見てくる。
ああ、はい。
雪かきくらいで済みゃいいが。
そうだな。
There she is. Creepy. Cadaver.
多分見える。痛々しいな。標準の亡骸だ。寒いな。
俺もだ。さっさと倒せ。
ああ、終わらせるぞ。
I think I forgot to put the ribbon on again.
Ignis、
見当をついた。
Nice. Ow. That works. Ow. I thought I could block that. Apparently not. Nice. Kind of, yeah. He's actually a real difficult enemy. If you're not god level.
おいノクト、どうした？中の様子がおかしい。早く来い。分かった。行くぞ、イグニス。ああ。
おい待て。
See. And see if I can find the death claw. Here it is. Got 2 sets of gold horns. And a pointy tail. Proceeding on. See if Arden is up to more no good. He's such a good bad guy.
Ah, さすがの冷たさだ。殺された時もそんな綺麗な顔だったね。
今こそ果たすカンナギとの古き約束。
ケンティア、あんたが
星の過去と今、そして我が願い。
She's so beautiful.
選ばれし王に託す。それが標準の啓示。私たち六神は星を守りし存在。各々の意志を持ってその使命を果たさんとしていた。かつて私はあまたの生命の中で人は星に必要なきものと考えていた。儚く脆く、それゆえ可能性や希望といった曖昧なものを信 信じる人が星にとって有用だとは思えなかった。イフリートは私とは違い、人の可能性を信じ、火を与え、共に繁栄の道を選択した。私はそんな彼に惹かれ、愛し合うようになった。私は彼が信じる人を信じることにした。だが人の文明ソルハイムは高みに達し、思った人は神を排斥しようとした。恩を忘れた人の行為はイフリートの適量に触れ、彼は人もろとも世界を焼き尽くそうとした。私は彼と戦わねばならなかった。星と彼が信じた人を守るために。人と六神同士の戦いは熾烈を極め、神々の朝廷も虚しく、戦いの規模はさらに拡大した。この魔大戦と呼ばれし戦いにより、ソルハイムは滅び、星は傷つき、疲弊した神々は長き眠りについた。これが選ばれし王に託せし星の物語。そして私の物語。魔大戦の後、神々が長き眠りにつきし間、イフリートは何者かにより死骸にされてしまった。眠りから覚めた私は彼を解放しようとするも、帝国に砕かれ力を失った。今や帝国は死骸と共にあり、六神も世界も闇に覆われようとしている。もはや私たちだけではイフリートはもとより星を救うこともかなわない。彼にはせめて安らかなる死を。
ゲンティアナ。
私の知るルナフレーナの思い、あなたに伝えましょう。選ばれし王ノクティスが誕生し、私はカンナギであるルナフレーナに会った。彼女はあなたと共に星に光を取り戻すと約束した。彼女の温かく力強く人を愛する心に触れ、私は再び人を信じようと思った。
ルナフレーナ、もう諦めろ。ノクティスは王にはなれない。
どうしてそんなことを言うのです。他に道などありません。
これ以上はお前が命を落とすぞ。
分かってます。後悔はないんです。ただすぐ近くで声を聞きたかった。昔みたいに笑って、その手に触れて、一緒に生きていきたかった。
泣かないでルナフレーナ。
ごめんなさい。今だけは。
それほどまでにノクティスのことを。
他の人と何も変わりません。ただ大切な人のそばにいたい。それすら叶わないなんて。
あなたの深い愛は何があっても消えることなく、必ずやノクティスに届きましょう。
ケン ティアナ。
星のため、いいえ、あなたのために。私は必ずノクティスの力になりましょう。
It was a very kind thing for her to do.
友としての約束。
ありがとう、ケンティアナ。
思いは伝えた。そして全てを託す。
Yeah.
受け取った。
選ばれし王ノクティス、世界に光を。
さようなら、ノクティス様。
ルーナ、なんだよ、やっぱ辛かったのかよ。ルーナ、今まで聞いてやれなくてごめん。話したいことがいっぱいあるのに。
Very sad.
僕が必ずやっつける。
ノクティス様。
ルーナ、必ずやるよ。約束する。
Usually you don't ask for that. Yes, the music. It absolutely adds to that. Oh yeah, our unwanted guest.
笑ってんじゃねえよ。
He deserved that.
おい、起きろ。
何があった？ノクタ。
ああ、
無事か？
ああ、標準が来てた。まあもう帰ってから平気だ。他のとこ見てきてくれ。
おう、行けるか？ああ、すまない。大丈夫だ。
You know, I recently found the soundtrack on, what is it? The Apple Music. You know, Ice Gaze, you sent me that link yesterday. I was browsing around and I actually found the Final Fantasy 15 soundtrack. It's one of the few soundtracks that they have, or, well, yeah, by Square Enix on the store. I was like, wow, hey. I'm considering getting it. It's because this game has excellent music. He did his eagle tattoo and everything. Didn't I just crush you into a billion pieces?
久しぶりに死ぬかと思ったよ。やっぱり神様の力は強いな。でも俺も強いんだよね。死にたくたって死ねないっていうか。
ああ。
にしても粉々にするとはな。痛かったよ。いいものを見せてあげるよ。これなんだ。あ、誰のだって聞くべきだったな。見覚えあるよね。はい。なんちゃって。君にはあげないよ。
どこにいる？
誰が？プロンプト君ね。この先。
先？
テとグラレア。わかる？うちの首都。そこまで来ればさ、会えるんじゃない？ルシスのクリスタルもそこだ。あれは死骸に効くんだ。取り戻したらどう？じゃあ気をつけて。お友達が待ってる。
Yeah, he really would complain about the cold, wouldn't he? And the dark, yes. End of chapter. Redemption. Having stolen Noctis's country, crystal, and cherished companions, Arden waits implacably in Gralia.
そろそろテートに着く頃か。
ああ。
どんな街なんだろうな。
死骸だらけっつってたっけ。
気が重いぜ。
中へ入ったら要塞を目指すぞ。
要塞？
ジグナタスと呼ばれる巨大な軍事施設があるんだ。
クリスタルもプロンプトもそこか。
攻めがいがあんじゃねえか。しかしクリスタルに死骸を駆除する力があるってのには驚きだ。
そう考えている者もいるだけで確定したとは言えないが、死骸の勢いが夜が長くなったことと関係があるとしたら、クリスタルの奪還はルシスというより世界にとって重要なことなのかもしれないな。
ま、とりあえず返してもらってから。
どうした？
何かあったのか？
さて、また非常事態が。
A lot of pit stops along this train ride. I was looking to see if there was another radio around here. I guess not. Alright, I'm going to save. And I can't. Never mind. I forgot. Chapter 13. Chapter 13. Ow?
しょうがねえ。どうした？武器が出ねえ。どけ。引こう。俺急げ。
Arden has stripped Noctis of his weapons. Flee to the freight cart at the back of the train. Come through. Running away.
脱出を考えよう。
どうやって？
貨物車両にレガリアがある。
急げよ。分かってる。
貨物車両はまだ先か。
おい、急げ。
You know, I was pretty sure that... I guess not. I thought that, the walking stick that Ignis uses was a key item. Come through. Time to flee in style.
pt8 防衛機能段階4を発動。すべての出入り口を封鎖します。
Time to show how bad of a driver Noctis is. And why Ignis was always the chauffeur.
今どこを走っている？トンネルか？線路の上だ。止まったら追いつかれるぜ。急げよ。急いでるよ。捕まってろ。
It makes you appreciate all the obstacles that Biggs and Wedge had to avoid on the train ride up here. Oops. I wasn't looking at the screen.
元は陛下がお乗りだったが、そう簡単には壊れないはずだ。
避けた先で当たるなこりゃ。
レガリアなら多少の衝撃は耐えられる。運転に集中しろ。
くそ、耐えろよ。
Please stop. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. The car's on fire. Oh no. Okay, I made it. Although, the car's kind of beat up. I was expecting the window to shatter when he closed the door. Poor car.
Oyaji, ここまでありがとな。
まさか丸腰で帝都に侵入するとはな。
クリスタルの力で本当に死骸どもを何とかできるのか。
ま、行ってみなきゃわからねえ。足止めるわけじゃねえだろ。
ああ。
Well, the car was his last remaining memento of his father. It was a symbol of his father's, or the relationship between him and his father. He respected him, he loved him, he idolized him. He was his ideal. He was the one who he looked up to as the model king that he wanted to be. And it is sad to leave the car here. Especially when I know that the original production of this game, the original intention was to not have the train section at all. The the continent was supposed to be connected to Lucius, Niflheim and Lucius, so you were literally going to be able to drive everywhere. So you form a relationship with this car. So it is sad to leave it. Anyway, we are in a pretty dire predicament right now. We can't use our weapons. We've lost the car. Ignis is blind. We lost Prompto. And Gladio lost his shirt. Off to a good start, I'm sure.
いつ崩れてもおかしくねえか。
早く抜けよう。こっち行けそうだ。
Oh. Freak. Yeah, that sounds safe.
Ignis! Gladiolus!
Okay, time to run. Night. Thank you. Leave me alone. Go away. This looks so painful. The death spell. Harbored within the ring of the Lucii, Arcana encompasses 3 powerful spells. First of them is death. Drains a foe's life force to restore your own. Pretty morbid. You actually steal the life from your enemy. The OP ring, yes. It has been very much buffed from what it was originally. Okay.
あれが下から繋がってんのか。どうやって行くんだ。他当たるか。
This is a very disconcerting chapter because you have lost all of your weapons. The only thing you have is the ring, which he didn't want in the first place. Thought it opened a door. There's something down here. There is. And I can't get up. And it explodes. Night. Okay. Probably not going to finish it today, since chapter 13 is pretty long and I intend to do episode Prompto at the appropriate time in chapter 13 towards the end. And chapter 14 is also sort of long. You can rewatch the VOD. It will stay up for 2 weeks. I mean, I have the stamina to finish the entire game today, but I'm not going to. And I feel like this is the kind of game where it's better to savor it instead of try and rush your way through it, especially the ending here. Okay, where is everybody? Aren't we in like the capital city? Here we go. Turned something on. Oh, that startled me. That startled me again! It appears out of nowhere. Why aren't you focused in front of me? Thank you. I hear it, I think. I hear something. What am I hearing? I'm gonna go save real fast. An interesting thing about this chapter, you cannot save. The entire chapter is considered a danger zone. You have to go to save points, which are these blue rooms. Dormitories.
よし、休めそうだな。
市街研究所には数週間前から人の気配がなく、中に捕らえられていたはずの死骸が外へと逃げ出しているとの見方が強まっています。これにより グラリア市街地へも影響が出ていると見られますが、中からの連絡は途絶えたままとなっています。帝国鉄道も列車は稼働しておらず、アコルド国内の区間も運休しています。
That doesn't sound good.
誰であってもハンターとして受け入れたい。出身や技量を問わず募集をかけたいと。ええ、今は何よりも人手が必要ですって。でもハンターというのは危険な仕事ばかりなのではという意見もありますが、いいえ、危険を報告してくれるだけでもいい。それもまたメルダシオの人間の役割です。いきなり命を落とすような任務にはつかせません。最初は町の警護から近所を守るつもりでいいんです。なるほど、まずは軽い仕事からなんですね。
昨日からレスタルムは世界の人々の避難所になりました。だから帝国の人もアコルドの人も誰が来てもいいんです。警護の要請はメルダシオ教会にすぐ連絡を。ハンターを派遣します。無理はしないように。そしてレスタルムの人々にお願いします。避難してきた人を追い出したりしないでください。温かい気持ちで受け入れてください。レスタルムの明かりを分け合いましょう。市街研究所には
5-star service and lodging. I didn't save. I need to go back inside and save. I mean, I rested, but I actually need to save. There we go. That he is. I think I would probably sleep upright and more awake than asleep in that kind of an environment as well. The night has fallen and there are demons about. I wouldn't feel very comfortable allowing myself to be vulnerable, especially since he's alone. He's all by himself. No! Noctis, walk through the door. There you go. Good job. This way? What does the map say? Have a good night. Sleep sweet. See you next time. Remember, you can always look at the VOD in the downtime. It'll be there. Like a boss arena. Oh. Spell of the Arcana. Alterna consigns entire hordes of enemies to the void. The cost of all MP. Now, this spell is very broken. Bye! Nope. They have been sent to another dimension. Problem with that spell, although it is very, very broken, there are enemies that are immune to it, and the RNG, the chance of it being successful are pretty low. See a shiny. Over here. I don't know. That's a demon? Something is flying around up there. Laser sensor. I need to continue farming for those and comrades. Can I jump? I can. Okay. Wait. I think I go this way. That is a good question. This place is so creepy. You guys aren't gonna come back, are you? Look at that old-fashioned fan. Wow. Like a 50s or 60s style fan. Here we go. You know what you're doing, Noctis? Well, the lights turned green.
これでエレベーターまで行けるか?
Oh, that startled me. Jeez. Okay. I keep wanting to use my sword and I can't. I'm not used to it. Spell of the Arcana. Holy. Counters with a blast of sacred light when evading, making it effective against melee enemies. Cast the spell just before an attack lands to deal more damage. A perfect block. I need enemies to do that on. I think I accidentally killed my tutorial enemies. Are there any more down here? We'll use it on the next patch. And there's Holy. That was a perfect block, so that was like extra Holy. You and me both, Noctis.
ずいぶん無防備だね。友達見つけられるかな。
早くあいつら見つけねえと。どっかにいるはずだ。
気をつけて進んだ方がいいよ。
I can. Thank you very much. Oh! Oh yeah, that's... yeah.
走るしかないのか。こりゃ大変だ。
Okay, that works.
しょぼい魔法しか使えないんだっけ?
I tried hiding and it didn't work. Oh no, I am lost. That's where I came from. Okay. This way? I don't know which way to go. I think I see a blue room down there. They were creepy before, but yeah, they're extra creepy now. I feel like... Okay, yeah, that's a blue room. Okay, we're gonna hide in here for a minute while I look at the map. There was something back here. Okay, this is where I'm supposed to go. Is there anything for me to check out in here? Where's the radio? I don't think anything is new, but... well, okay. I'll save, just to be safe. And I'm gonna backtrack real fast. Old book. I don't think these guys respawn. I think. Alright, story wants me to go that way, which means I'm going this way. Like a treasure? Oh, security card. Well, that's useful. Oh, where'd you come from? Where's my hiding spot? Where'd you go? No! Okay. I believe these guys are immune to death. Here. Okay. My hiding spot was way over here. That's not fair. There was 2 hiding spots. Really? Okay, well, moving on.
なんだか順調に進めてるね。
Can't go that way. That one looks like it's blocked off as well. I don't trust you. Okay.
Oh, Prompto!
Hey.
止まれって!
I don't trust you either. And I was right. Ow! Jerk butt. I heard a door. Well, he left bodies in his wake. Is there a way I can get by without having to step over them? There we go. Okay. Oh! Running away. Can I hide? No! Ah! There's another one! Where did you come from? There's a third one! What is happening? Oh no! Ow! That went very badly. Where did they all come from? That was not fair. The locked door and everything. I think it's locked. Oh wait, now it opens?
鍵のレベル？使えそうじゃん。
解除レベルを2に更新しました。レベル2までの扉の開放に有効です。
Not gonna ambush me again, are you? This is where I was supposed to hide. Let's see. I heard a door. Look at all these hiding places that I could have used. See a blue door. I'm gonna save. Looks like a radio, but it's not giving me the prompt. Alright. No. Hologram? Still there? I think that's a game glitch. I think he's supposed to run up and away. Up these stairs. Oh.
プロンプト、そろそろ危ないかもね。
A place for me to hide? Can I please hide? I don't know what that was all about, but it tried to grab me and it failed. I'm gonna hide in here until the dude walks by. No! Close again. Okay, let me check the map. I feel like I walked past a lot of... I did. Now I don't know where the guy is. Ah! I am not doing this very well. Of course. The spot right here. It's down here. Not any other guys hiding out either. Yeah. Prompto is supposed to be in there. The game glitched. Oh, I had to have level 3 clearance to get in these rooms. Okay, well. Is there a room I can save in real fast? Not anywhere nearby. Oh well, I guess we're gonna have to live with the glitch. Ow. Ow. There we go. Ugh. Not alive, are you? So, just suspend your belief for a second here and imagine Prompto is in that chair, tied up, okay? Are we good? You see it in your mind's eye? Okay. Well. Tried. What's interesting to me is the fact that I know what I know after episode Prompto. That's so creepy. Level 3.
解除レベルを3に更新しました。レベル3までの扉の開放に有効です。
友達が死んだかと思ったよね。急がないと次は本物かもよ。
Can I get through here? I can! Yay, okay. You're not respawned, are you? Doesn't look like it.
いい仕掛けだったでしょう。の間違わなかった？本当に本物じゃなかった？
Ow! Okay, I can death you. Okay. Where am I supposed to be going? Marker is this way. Ah! No! Ow. There. Those things hurt when they hit you. Is this the right way? Gotta be. Okay. Going to save the game real fast. All these hiding spots. I see. I think this is the way. Maybe? Yes, this is the way. Okay.
心細くって泣きそうって顔だ。
How do I... Where am I going? How do I get up there? Okay. Going the right way. I got turned around there for a second. Go away.
君たちの希望まであと少し。もうすぐ手が届く。中央エレベーターを探しなよ。そこに大事なものがあるから。
はいはい、どうも。
Oh, okay.
動かすやつ探してこねえと。
Not going there yet. Nothing here? I believe that's where it came from. Hmm. I can hear Sally talking to herself. Yes? A big girl? Hi. What is it? What? Weekends? And... you are much stronger than an iron giant. Now hide over here.
戦えないんじゃ王様を名乗れないね。
Startled me. Hurts. Wait, can I get down there? No. Where do I go? Oh, here we go. That's how you get up here. You can't see me. I actually completely forgot what I'm supposed to be doing in this section. Oh. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Had a good vantage point to be able to determine when to block. This is where the dude is pacing. This is an elevator. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I don't want to get on there yet. I'm gonna fill out the map a little bit. I can hear critters crawling around. Where? How did it see me? What saw me? Oh, it's gone, whatever it was. Oh. Okay. Okay. Those guys creep me out. I am lost. Nice. Can you come back this way? There we go. Hi, Squeakins. She is trying to make me feel guilty by scraping her empty dish with her tongue. I fed you not even 3 hours ago, baby girl. I think that might be as far as I can go. Actually, I can go in that corner. Here's some stairs. Hi, Squeakins. Although I successfully repaired the robot by supplementing deficient areas with parts salvaged from our own Magitech armor fleet, I've had no luck in terms of activating the device. It responds ever so slightly when jolted with a bit of electric current, yet it nevertheless remains offline. I suppose I am left with no choice but to dismantle the device and discover precisely how it operates. Where does this take me? I don't remember there being an elevator down here. I guess there was. Well, I don't think there's stairs over here that I can access. Let's see. I don't think I can get back there. What? No. This way? Does not look like it. No. Okay, well, I guess it is time to visit the other elevator. Anything hiding back here? No. Okay. There is one thing I wanted to check though. I think I can go through here yet. No, it does not look like I can. Going to hide over here. Here we go. I have avoided this entry. Wait. This way. We did it! Okay. That guy is very difficult to fight with just the ring. He's immune to death. Well, he's not immune to death, but he takes a very long time to die from the death spell. Where did the generator go? Here. Okay. Partially restored.
よくやったね。これはプレゼントだ。
Oh.
なんだ。
Well? Zegnatis Keep, the height of imperial might. This flying megafortress houses the Crystal of Lucius in its uppermost level, yet for all its imposing vastness, it appears utterly devoid of human presence. Alrighty. I will find a save room. of the father. He was a jerk, but still, that's pretty sad. I shall send an escort. You and Gentiana will return to the manor. It is dangerous to remain in Lucius. The Empire fears the covenant with the Archaean, and ere long they will come for you. Rely upon the Alticians if you must, and cease all contact with the Empire. If you seek a covenant, you know full well the cost. Should Noctis succeed in claiming the power, I shall gladly restore his father's sword to him. Noctis may have the storm's blessing, but his powers remain as feeble as a breeze. Open your eyes, Lunafreya, and see the futility of your toils. He is unworthy of your sacrifice, and of King Regis's sword. I think those were the only letters over here. Map? No? See if I can. Oh. He can now wield Regis's sword in combat. Much easier now that I have an actual weapon to use. Drains my life force, but I think it's worth it. Is this a save room? Doesn't look blue.
武器も指輪も君の力はみんな借り物だね。
There should be a save room around here soon. Oh! Can I pick this up now? Oh, no. Well?
気をつけて進んだ方がいいよ。
There's a blue room. Okay.
何か聞こえるね。何かあるんだよ、きっと。
Well, it's better than a chair. Did you kick me out of the room? No, okay. I'm gonna stay over here. Alright, we are going to save the game. And call it a night. Poor Noctis. He's all by himself now. Doesn't have any of his normal weapons. Doesn't know where his friends are. Yeah, very, very lonely. Not only is it dangerous and he doesn't know what's around each corner, He's in a strange land, and now he's by himself. And he's being taunted, too. And the place is just creepy overall. Like, where are the people? Where did they go? I mean, we found Ravis, but he was clearly executed. Looks like he went down with a fight. And then the letters that he wrote to Lunafreya were there as well. Not exactly a vacation. Well, I had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's nothing else, I will see you next time. Sleep sweet when you get there. Toodaloo, ta-ta. I'm going to end the stream now. Bye-bye.